Just want to provide you with some more updates as to what is happening right now in Gaza and also the situation in Egypt. The government of that country is literally right now shaking. I think that would be an underestimate to say that they're shaking. It is actually more than that. I'll tell you everything in details in a second, but before I do that, just to remind you, most of my viewers are not subscribed. Consider subscribing if you're not subscribed yet. I do want to, however, though, start this video with not these two individual, but this one. Take a listen at this particular news clip where you see U.S. official, they're lying one more time. And this time it is about bombing in Syria by the Zionist state of Israel. Well, any country would come close to Israel. They are terrorists, they're bad people, and Israel has the right to defend themselves. But when it comes to Israel doing it to other countries, Matthew Miller, the U.S. State Department, they always find an excuse for that. Take a listen.
Because you use the words, no party should take any actions or any actions that are unilaterally in the interests of that other party over the broadest interests of the Syrian people. There's no way that you could then see what Israel's doing that's not a unilateral action in the interest of it.
So first of all, we have made that clear to every party, including the government of Israel. I'm not sure that just to argue with the kind of the logic train that you presented, I'm not sure that increased weapons stockpiles sitting around Syria is necessarily something that's in the interest of the Syrian people at the end of a brutal civil war when they have seen those weapons stockpiles.
Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? A foreign national is telling my country what is good for me and what is bad for me? Like, this guy is pathetic. We already knew it. This guy is a big-time liar, Matthew Miller. But now he's at a very different level. I mean, Syrian people, they do deserve to have the right to defend themselves. Therefore, the weapons that are being left behind by Assad regime, they should inherit those weapons. They should take possession of this weapon. Why? Because in case they get attacked, and they did, what are they going to fight with? With knife and sword? Like, US is telling, oh my God. I cannot believe what he said, that Syrian people doesn't have the right to really take up arms or take possession of those arms to just in case if they have to defend themselves. Therefore, Israel has the right, 100% right, to actually attack Syria and destroy those arms and make them completely defenseless, just like they did with the Palestinian people. You cannot have any arm, no weapon, nothing, or else you are terrorists. So same situation with these people of Syria. If you take hold of those weapons that Assad left behind, we are not going to help you. We're going to sanction your country. And Matthew Miller, like this liar, oh my God.
Piles turned on their own people.
What about the territory that is being invaded by Israel, that is the buffer zone?
And we have made quite clear that we believe that action ought to be temporary. Israel has said, and they can speak for themselves, that they took the action because they saw the Syrian army withdraw from that buffer zone, and it created a vacuum that could be filled by terrorist groups. They have said it's temporary. They can speak for themselves. We have made clear that we believe it also ought to be temporary.
Yeah. So you're saying that...
Where is the condemnation of United States, the country with human rights and international law, we are people of law and all that? Where are those rhetorics when it comes to Israel bombing Syrian people, taking lands away from them? Matthew Miller is basically saying, well, Israel can make a decision for themselves when it comes to stealing those lands from the people of Syria. But US, yeah, we don't really want that. But yeah, if Israel wants to do it, I mean, who can stop them, right? This is what the tone is from Matthew Miller. I mean, unbelievable double standard, unbelievable.
The destruction of Syrian arms and the Syrian army is...
For themselves, we have made clear that we believe it also ought to be temporary.
Yeah. So you're saying that the destruction of Syrian arms and the Syrian army is actually in the benefit of the Syrian people? I just want to...
That is not what I said. I
so
said
what
that
did
this
you
is
say
what,
on
this
this?
is the I said this is what...
That's what you just said, Matthew Miller. He lies. He contradicts himself in matter of seconds. That's exactly what he said. This is the question that the reporter asked that I just raised just a few seconds ago. Like, so basically you mean that Syrian people should not have those arms anymore because that is not good for them? How you decide for them? And when he was asked this question, even though he made it absolutely clear that that was his intent, nevertheless, he said, no, that's not what I said. What did you say, you idiot? You think you're a bunch of foolish people?
I just want to.
That is not what I said. I
So
said
what
that
did you
this is
say
what-
on
this
this?
is the I said this is what the way the government of Israel has explained the actions that they are taking. I was just interrogating, as I said, the logic train of Willie's
No,
question.
but you said something akin to, I think that and the arms and so on that were used
That have been
against the
turned
Syrian
on
people,
on the Syrian people.
that would be to their benefit. That's what you're saying?
That's not what I said.
That's what you said just now. Matthew Miller, own up to your words. You are not. This guy is beyond pathetic. But guys, as we know, that's what they do. That's how they are trained to lie. They're professional trainer. There is a special course for them before they join this position in the U.S. State Department. That course is for you to become a professional liar. Just like this lady, Clarissa Ward, is lying here. Take a look.
I can't tell though, it might just be a blanket. But it's the only cell that's locked. Is he gonna shoot it?
The guard makes us turn the camera off while he shoots the lock off the cell door. We go in to get a closer look. It's still not clear if there is something under the blanket.
Oh, it moved. Is there someone there?
I mean, this is the most ridiculous.
Okay, so this is from Kim Iverson channel. She posted this. But how pathetic CNN is. They are just staging news. They're staging report. They're faking everything. This is why I call them Clown News Network, CNN. That's what they stand for. Now, here's the thing, though, guys. This is dangerous. What they're doing, the Western government, the Western media, this is dangerous. This is not misinformation only without any consequence. These are all disinformation with consequences, with repercussion, and what we will see in the coming days, months, and weeks, because we are going through this war situation where hostilities everywhere between Russia, Ukraine, and then you have now Syria, then you have Gaza, Israel. And to make all of these things much, much worse, you can just make it much worse by lying. You can just lie about things, and one thing will lead to another, and in no time you will see escalation, you will see conflict. I have not watched CNN. I will never watch CNN. Even if I do, I don't believe a single thing they say on the news because they lie all the time. And this is not the first time they have staged something. They were accused of staging news many, many times in the past. I just don't have those records right with me. But Clarissa Ward going into Syria. Oh, he found a jail cell. Oh, this guy was captured by Assad and he is being sentenced 2 months ago and he's rotting in this jail. Only to find out this guy was Assad's man. So, I mean, this is how ridiculous it gets. Now, let's talk about the two monsters. I just showed you the picture of these two. The first one, let's start with the Netanyahu story. What is happening? Why I said he's shaking? Well, it is because he's losing men, a lot of them. So Israeli Ministry of Defense announced that the number of wounded soldiers has claimed to approximately 13,500. Now, this is coming after two soldiers were assassinated, were killed today in Gaza when they were trying to go on a picnic there, and they came under fire and they lost their lives. The Israeli military admitted on Tuesday that two soldiers, including a company commander, were killed in southern Gaza. The soldiers, part of the engineering corps 7107 battalion, reportedly died on Monday when a building they entered in Rafah collapsed after the Palestinian resistance targeted it. Again, more and more casualties, and they have this dream ambition, super high ambition, that we're going to be expanding our territory, doubling our population in Syrian Golan Heights. Yeah, come and do that. We were waiting for you. These monsters, they cannot even win this against this small army in Gaza. They talk about big dream, greater Israel, God chosen people. You morons, freaking idiots. Two others sustained injuries in the incident, according to an initial investigation. The Israeli Ministry of Defense announced that the number of wounded soldiers has climbed to approximately 13,500. Now, this is the Ministry of Defense. They're talking about what happened in Gaza. These 13,500, they're not included with the Lebanese casualties where they went there. This is only from Gaza. Now, out of those 13,500 that got injured, that's what they said, that they got wounded, wounded. They never die because they're immortal. How many you think actually died? I would put the number in thousands. Easily. And they're hiding it. But for the first time, the Israeli ministry, they have admitted that, yeah, we have lost 13,000 or wounded 13,000 soldiers. But I would put the number in thousands of death of the Zionist military. While it did not provide an updated death toll, again, it will never provide an updated death toll because it is so ashamed of it. It recently stated that 808 soldiers, have been killed since the war on Gaza began, including 380 during ground operations in the Strip. Again, I don't buy these numbers. These are all fake. These are all trying to cover up their losses. Why? Because this is such an humiliation, just like the one they have faced in Lebanon itself. Now, among the injured, 287 soldiers reportedly suffered head injuries. Where are they? Head injuries. I mean, this is serious, right? With 87 cases classified as serious, and several soldiers are now relying on wheelchairs. 287 soldiers reportedly suffered head injuries, and they're still alive, all of them. Wow, that's a miracle. Even what they reveal to us, even in that you can see lies. Of course, they hide most part of it. 99.99% everything they say is hidden and they're lying. But the 0.01% they say to us, they reveal to us, even in that small percentage, they lie. This is how they lie all the time. And this is why I said, guys, Israel is shaking. Egypt is shaking. I'll tell you why Egypt is shaking in a second. But take a look at this one. So additionally, 37% wounded troops have sustained limb injuries, primarily fractures, according to Israeli government data. Mental health issues are also taking a severe toll on Israeli forces. Around 5,200 soldiers are grappling with psychological challenges, including over 3,000 facing anxiety, depression, and adjustment disorders, and 1,300 suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD). By the end of 24, nearly 14,000 wounded soldiers are expected to require treatment. So 14,000 wounded soldiers are expected to require treatment, and they reported only 13,000 got injured. Oh my God. Again, more and more lies. With 40% anticipated to experience mental health challenges, monthly over 1,000 soldiers removed from combat roles for psychological treatment. Of these, 35% report mental distress and 27% suffer from PTSD or related conditions. When you commit genocide, you bring it with you and it haunts you. Those innocent babies whom limbs and heads and arms and bodies that you have blown up, they will haunt you for the rest of your life. If you cannot live a normal life, you have all of this PTSD, you have all of this depression and mental health issues, it is only going to get worse. A lot of these soldiers are actually taking their own lives, and we are not aware of that. Why? Because again, Zionists, they do not want us to know anything about these reports. The mental strain has also reportedly led to a troubling increase in suicides among soldiers. The Israeli newspaper Haaretz reported that at least 10 soldiers took their own lives between October 7th and May 11th. So that would be in a matter of just few months, right? But that number is obviously deflated. Not 10. It should be in the hundreds. How can they live with themselves after committing genocide there? However, when asked about the overall suicide rate during the war, Uzi Bechor, a psychologist and commander of the Israeli military's combat response unit, declined to provide specific figures. We just said it, that they're lying and hiding. And guess what? This is exactly what this report is suggesting, that they're declining. They're not going to make any comment. Oh, I don't know. I cannot say more than this. The reports are pretty bad. The reports are pretty bad. I mean, these people are not human beings. How can they live a normal life? Not possible at all. Now, declined to provide specific figures, citing restrictions. So see, gag order by the Netanyahu himself, gag orders. Batcher described suicide rate as a stable, but acknowledged the immense emotional toll on troops. Yeah, he's not talking much. He's only mentioning few soldiers took their life. The rest of them are, I don't know. The government is going to point a gun on me and just going to kill me. An Israeli medic told CNN that many young soldiers have exhibited signs of severe trauma, ranging from emotional numbness to frequent crying, underscoring the psychological burden of the war. Did you read what he said? An Israeli medic told CNN. Okay, so CNN is here, the liars. So one liar finds another liar to lie about everything. They lie. Wow. CNN, they told CNN. Okay, nevertheless, they told CNN that many young soldiers have exhibited signs of severe trauma, ranging from emotional numbness to frequent crying. So again, frequent crying, young babies, these are diaper armies. I told you guys. I mean, you don't have to be a teenager or an adult to understand that crying is not really good, especially if you're serving in the military. But they cannot stop crying. Why? Because it has become a disease for them. They have to cry because that's how they let it all out, especially the young soldiers. So I'm not going to be reading the whole thing here, ongoing genocide. Let's talk about the story of this particular monster, the traitor of the Palestinian cause, none other than Fateh Sisi. Man, this guy is now shaking. Okay, why? Let's actually see a few reports here. What happened? Let's read it from here. Actually, I want you to read with me. So, the fall of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Okay, the fall of the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad regime last week has triggered contrasting reactions in Egypt. Again, and this is coming from I think the Middle East, they reported on this. And they said, while the Egyptian public has welcomed the development with joy and hope, the ruling circles are visibly anxious and fearful. This dichotomy reflects Egyptian aspirations for potential change from the iron grip that's working on prolonging the rule of President Abdel Fattah Sisi. Over the past decade, tens of thousands of Sisi's opponents have languished in prisons that opposition groups describe as resembling Syria's notorious Sadnaya prison. Human rights reports indicate hundreds of deaths in custody due to medical negligence and torture. Cairo's response to the Syrian developments has been cautious and apprehensive, adopting a tone of fear about the possible division of Syria, and the spread of terrorism, means, in other words, spread of brotherhood. It also cast doubt on the accounts of Syrians regarding the torture they endured in Assad's prison. Now, two things you have to understand. Number one is Sisi is just as brutal as the butcher Assad, who killed his own people, tortured them. And if you have not heard Muazzam Beg, he made a statement very, very important for you to understand. Anytime the Western countries would want three things to be done on a detainee, a potential suspect, a terrorist suspect, they will choose three different countries. If they want to get this guy a good treatment, they will send him to Jordan. If they want him to be tortured, they will send him to Syria, means to Assad. And if they want this guy, this terrorist suspect, to disappear, they will send him to Egypt. You see that Sisi, Assad, they have one thing in common. Both of them are very good in torturing people. Maybe Egypt is much worse than Assad, but I will put them on the same and equal footing. Both of these dictators, they are monsters. They torture people, they kill people. And this is the reason why they're so terrified. Assad, all along, he was terrified, and this is why he groveled to Russia instead of Iran. He ditched Iran, in fact. He said to Iran, don't come to me, because if Israel, my master, Netanyahu, knows that you guys are supplying weapons to Hezbollah, My master Shaitanya will come after me. So don't use my base. He groveled to Russia. He said, Russia, with you guys, I find peace. I'm at ease. Why? Because you have nuclear weapon. You have more military power and strength than any country, especially Iran and his other old or ex-boyfriends or BFF. I just made it up. But you get my point. And now Sisi is feeling obviously the same way. He's now groveling to the United States. He's going to UAE. He's talking to MBS. All of these countries for help. Why? Because he knows he tortured people. He killed people. He disappeared people. And he did all kind of horrible things. And so he's fearful for that reason by default. Now, on top of all of this, he knows that Egyptian people, they are going to rise up. They are waiting. They are being silent for a very long time. Now is the time, perhaps, when they see the Syrian people have risen up and they have taken over their country. This might trigger the Egyptian people likewise to take up arms or start revolting, protesting, and get rid of Sisi and kill him if they can, obviously. But I think he will run away eventually. That's the cowards, what they do all the time, all of these cowards. Therefore, Sisi is shaking, and this is no hidden secret. Erdogan has the string, guys. Erdogan has the string. If he wants to do it, he can do it in matter of just few weeks or months. I can promise you. If Erdogan wants Sisi to go, King Abdullah from Jordan to go, if he wants even MBS, I would argue, to go, he can do it easily using Syria, his base in Syria. I can promise you. I know a lot of you will hate me for this, telling the truth, but as I said, I'm brutal and honest and unbiased with my reporting. I say what I believe is to be true. If you don't agree with me, it's up to you. I appreciate differences in opinion, so thank you if you don't agree. Dorothy, thank you so much. Why doesn't Israel give up their weapons and stop stealing and killing? Yeah. Oh, well, who else you will call monsters, right? There has to be a monster on earth because bad and good both have to exist. So they are doing that job for you guys. Jeff, I have Zabar, Wahib, thank you guys.